Hello everybody and welcome to the formation lap for the Mexican Grand Prix. Here we are today. Unfortunately, there is no qualifying for you guys because we had some recording issues once again. The game being annoying basically. But this is your grid rundown very quickly. You have Brandon P1, Preston in P2, Charlie in P3, Bradley in P4, Callum in P5, Jamie in P6, Harry in P7, and Kieran in P8. And yes, Brandon and Kieran are the two new drivers within our league. I will explain a bit more about that in a minute, but of course, I do need to introduce the other commentator here today. Of course, that is Peter, once again, the legend.
Thank you, Dan. Yes, you're also a legend as well, also. But yeah, I'm good to be back again.
It really is. And do you want to explain just very quickly about Brandon and Kieran and why they are here today?
Yeah, so obviously Brandon and Kieran are here because of Dan's TikToks. Yes, believe it or not, Dan does do TikToks for DFL and for other things, whatever he wants to do on there. But yeah, obviously Kieran and Brandon obviously saw that and thought, oh, I want a piece of that, and obviously commented on his video, and now they're in the DFL Championship.
Yes, and what an exciting prospect it is. As you can see, Brandon has taken that P1 spot straight away within his debut race. Kieran has come in at P8, so not bad by both of them, really. We'll see what Kieran can do by getting back up. We'll see what Brandon can do, but whether he can stay up. I mean, of course, you guys didn't see the qualifying, but qualifying, he was 2 seconds quicker.
Yeah, it was 1.1 seconds quicker than the person behind him, and that was really good for him. But obviously, yeah, as well, I'd say obviously the cars are lining up right now. So we'll talk a little bit more about that after the start of this Grand Prix. But Brandon now leading everyone onto the grid, and obviously takes that provisional pole. Guan Yu Zhou will be the last driver to start this lap. So just waiting for Guan Yu Zhou, and then it will be lights out and away we go.
Yes, it will, and hopefully we're in for an exciting race, but we're about to see that, and I'll take it away.
And here we go. Obviously waiting for these lights to go out. It's lights out. And a bit of a stutter, and away we go as Brandon and Preston scrap away. Preston gets an amazing start off the line, but Brandon has those brand new softs on, whereas Preston only has those mediums. But Brandon is covering off the inside, and Preston is around the outside. Who's going to go into turn one leading this race? Preston goes around the outside. He tries, Preston cuts the corner there, but he still gets the place back. He goes slightly wide into turn three, but Brandon once again leading this race and still maintaining the lead. But Preston giving them a bit of a scrap but Charlie on the right of Preston now dropping behind him to try and take that P2 to keep this championship fight alive with Preston, and try to maintain a massive gap.
And unfortunately, another championship contender, George, is not here today, but hopefully he'll be back next week. But what a great start. I did kind of see, I'm not sure whether Brandon sort of pushed Preston off track. Preston did go off track. I'm not sure whether Brandon was the cause of it. But anyhow, he is leading this race. He is getting that gap going. It's exciting to see what Brandon can do. I mean, Kieran now, down in P9, unfortunately lost the position to the AI of Yuki Tsunoda here.
Sorry, but Charlie's trying to take this P2 away from Preston, but Preston keeps that fight alive. But Jamie is right behind because these two are scrapping away. So what can these two do? And Harry's about to join the fight as well if Charlie and Preston keep this up. But Jamie just dropping behind, getting that slipstream. So is Charlie. Will he pull dummy? Will he go to the right? Will he go to the left? He just sits behind him. He looks down the inside. He will go down the inside, but Jamie goes down the inside and will take that P2 slot. But Preston goes slightly wide, and now Jamie once again goes back down the inside and takes P2. What a little scrap between these guys. But Harry now invites himself. They're going to be free of press down into this next turn, but he has to brake late because he saw that it could cause a collision. But Jamie and Preston still going wheel to wheel. Now Preston having to drop back and give this position to Jamie, and Jamie up into P2. Harry, what a scrap these two those guys have had. And Charlie's moved down to P8 after that scrap and has lost positions because of that.
Yes, an unlucky time for Charlie, but now Kieran is Bad to put pressure on Charlie, I'm sure. Got a bit of the gap to make up, but it'll be exciting to see if he can make that gap up or not. Of course, currently, what you have is some guys on the medium, some guys not. What do you think about some of the guys going on softs, mediums? What would be the better strategy here?
Yeah, well, you got a couple of people on the hards as well.
Jesus!
Right now.
A 119.232 by Brandon. Sorry to interrupt, but what a gap he's making up.
Yeah, that's basically a qualifying laps, and he's already pulled a 4.8 second gap over the drivers behind, especially over Jamie. So Brandon's inserting his dominance already, but yeah, Jesus Christ, Brandon is on smoke tonight.
Oh my God! Correct me if I'm wrong. I'm not sure how you feel, but I believe this is a competition we needed. You know, last season Carl was the main target. Carl was getting away, and then the guys were pulling back towards the end of the season. Now you have Brandon coming in. You had George coming in earlier, who was pulling away, and then you had Charlie and Preston now giving him a fight. You now have Brandon coming in, pulling an amazing gap on the third lap, but I believe the guys need this challenge to improve.
Yeah, I mean, Brandon definitely is on a higher skill level than the people below. No offence to them. It's just the way it is, unfortunately. But now it's a 6.4 gap over Jamie. So he's pulled out an extra 1.4 seconds over Jamie right now. And he goes with another fastest lap of a 119.2. So Brandon really putting in the shift here tonight. But obviously, it's lap 4 of this race now. There is DRS, and Preston is going to seem to be gaining. He sends it down the inside. It's going to go into turn 1, taking this P2, but Harry's sitting right behind. He knows that they can keep on scrapping, and he can probably get away with this. But Jamie now sat behind. Harry tries attacking Jamie. You've seen these two in the past. They've collided. They've come together. This is the moment where these two... Now Harry looks to be faster than Preston. He saw for a second that there could have been a gap. Jamie now trying to go down the inside of Harry. What can they do here? Jamie tries to go down the inside once again. They go wheel to wheel. They almost make a bit of contact. This is great racing between these two. Into contact. What went on there? It looked like Harry turned onto the side of Jamie there for a second, but now it's a...
What's happened? No, Charlie's gone as well. He collided with Callum, and now Charlie's been sent as well down to P8. Kieran has now overtaken Charlie. What has happened? Utter chaos right here.
Yeah, exactly. Utter chaos it is. And it definitely isn't looking good for our championship leader right now, Charlie. If he has got damage on his car right now, he will probably have to pit. Obviously, no safety car, so he will have to... he hasn't seemed to got any damage, so he seems so good to be continue. If he does have any damage, it won't be showing up for us. It will probably be telling him that he
Bradley looks to get the overtake on Jamie. Sorry to interrupt, but Bradley is going for it now, and he's got it.
Yeah, and exactly. Bradley gets the overtake done right now, but Jamie hasn't finished with him just yet. Remember, Jamie's on the faster compound, so obviously Bradley does have DRS. Callum right behind these two. Jamie with no DRS, so Jamie will be a sit and duck, but he has seemed to escape from it right now. There seemed to be a little bit of contact there between Callum and Jamie there.
But can I just say there's contact now between Kieran and Charlie, and Kieran has once again spun Charlie out.
And the championship leader has been spun, and it is going to be a safety car. Fernando Alonso given penalties. Kieran given time penalties. Charlie given time penalties. Penalties being given and being dished out everywhere on this track right now. But it is a safety car. So Brandon's lead from a 10.3 gap has now been cut off.
It really has. And now Charlie is messaging.
But Brandon's in the pitch right now, and he sees and wants to seize this opportunity to get a free pit stop out of this. But obviously Preston is going to overtake him from the pits, and now Preston is up into the lead of this race. Harry has gone into the pit. The only people who have stayed out is so Bradley up into P2 now, Callum up into P3 now. Brandon is up into down into P4.
Yeah, I don't know what's gone on. Apparently, Jamie is driving, in Charlie's words, like a maniac. So something has happened with Jamie here. Have you seen anything?
No, I don't think so. I saw Harry was when there was wheel to wheel with Harry. He made it look like Harry turned into the side of Jamie. But if there has anything that's been gone on, we might not have caught it, and it might have been a different part. But from what we've seen, Jamie has not been making any reckless moves, shall I say?
Yeah, and I don't know what to say, to be honest. We'll have a look after a race, of course. I mean, the incident with Kieran as well on Charlie. I was watching Matt overtake him, and all of a sudden, I don't know what exactly happened, whether that was Kieran's fault or not, but we'll have a look after a race. I'll show you footage and we'll see what happens. Now, as you say, Brandon's down in that P4 position. Has some overtaking to be done. Pressing down, up in P1. Can Brandon get back up? Who knows?
Yeah, well, we've seen Brandon's pace, and I have no doubt that this man can get up. Can bring this home today. But he has got to overtake 3 different cars to get into P1, and we all know that Preston is very good at defending. But obviously, this track isn't mainly corners; it is basically mainly straights. So Preston will have to be quicker on the straights than Brandon to maybe pull off a masterclass here to maybe get his 5th win of the season and make it 3 wins in a row. Obviously, we haven't spoke about last race, but Preston finally won in Canada for the first time within the 3rd time of asking in the DFL Championship.
Let's rethink that a second. Because actually he continues, because if we think back, yes, he won. But it's AI technically won at the last second because Preston.
They don't need to know that, Dan. They don't need to know that, Dan.
Preston disconnected at the last thing. I'm sorry, I couldn't resist not bringing this up. Preston disconnected at the very last second. I kid you not, right before he was about to pass that line, he disconnected. So he may have still won. But he technically himself did not cross that line.
I may say so. It is a very lucky win, in the words of Dan, as he was saying about Callum, about that very lucky win in Canada in season 1. If I'm right, I probably am right with that, aren't I? He won in season 1, Callum, didn't he, for Canada?
Yes, he did. Yes.
That very lucky win that Qusaid has, and then they argued to us that it was not a lucky win.
I don't know. I always will count it as a lucky win, but we'll have our arguments and debates about that, let's just say. Exactly. But safety car is in this lap now. I'm sure Brandon is raring to go. You have Callum P3, Bradley in P2 and Preston in P1, so he has quite the challenge to get ahead, to be honest. You have Kieran in P9, Charlie down in P19, Harry in P15 and Jamie in P17, so we're all kind of separated here. What's going to happen? We're about to find out because the safety car has gone in and Preston is away, but Bradley is not letting him get away and he's on for it. But Brandon maybe go for an overtake on Callum right now.
Yeah, Callum right now will have to defend for his life against Brandon right now. So I got a burp there for a second, but it's all good now. But anyways, Brandon may try and make a move down into turn 1 where he won't have to. He'll have to hold off for the minute because he saw that window was just about to get shut and he didn't want to cause any collisions. But as he pulls to the left-hand side, Callum there for a second looked like a bit like he was closing off that door. He seems to close off the door a little bit, but Brandon locks up into this next left-hander. Now is up into P3. Bradley in front went a little bit wide off that corner, but Brandon is gaining very massively and has got the pace, so Brandon will probably surpass Bradley in a matter of laps, as he looked to have there for a little slide there in that corner, but it's all good now as this goes slightly wide. He has looked to set eyes on Bradley as he pulls down the inside of Bradley and makes the move work. He goes slightly wide and deep into that corner, but Bradley tries to come back. He tries to go around the outside, but it just won't work just yet. But just remember, if this slipstream on this main straight is quite massive as well, but Brandon has eyes set on Preston right now, and Preston, like I said, will now have to defend for his life. It is 7/10 of a gap right now. Is Preston using up his ERS? No, he's not. So he is currently looking to defend from the faster man right now, which is Brandon.
Yes, it is, and if we take our eyes off of that second, Callum is gaining on Bradley here. We may see an overtake from Callum in a moment, but we're going to dive down a bit. You have Kieran still in that P9 position, but hopefully gaining on Daniel Ricciardo. You have Jamie now down in P20. I'm not too sure why, maybe he spun out or something, but Charlie up to P18 now, so very unlucky for Jamie. He has spun out again. What is going on with Jamie? I do not know. A very unlucky time for him. Oh no, he's done it again! And he's gone!
And he's retired, and it's another safety car, and literally no longer. We've had, I'm pretty sure this is the third safety car we've had, or second safety car. Correct me if I'm wrong. It is probably our second safety car. So, wait, why is for a second there, Brandon looked like he was trying to pass Preston on track there for a second. I was like, Brandon, what you doing? You're under safety car. You can't overtake, mate. But it's all good. Was just trying to get on the side, maybe trying to play that psychological warfare on Preston right now, trying to live rent-free in his head to show that he is right behind and he can overtake. But Preston goes into the pits for some reason, maybe thinking that he can't survive on his tyres and Deg is a bit too high. Yuki Tsunoda up into P3. So Kieran up into P7 right now. Yeah, so the fight is currently between Bradley and Brandon.
And yes, and what an exciting race it hopefully will battle. I mean, it hopefully will be. I normally say race in that quote, don't I? But who knows what's going to happen. I mean, Kieran, we're going to go down to Kieran in a second. He hasn't really moved, to be honest. He's now up to P7. Can he get back up, or will he stay where he is?
Well, obviously having that 5-second time penalty will not help him in the slightest. But obviously, I'm sure if he has the pace, he will overcome that 5-second time penalty and finish in the points for this race. Obviously, he has to pass Ricciardo, Fernando, and maybe he could be looking at a potential podium here if he has the pace. But remember, he has to clear that 5-second time penalty as well to make sure that he doesn't drop places because of it.
Yes, and it's definitely going to be an interesting one, that's for sure. It's going to be a chaotic one, that as well. But who knows what to expect these days, eh? What to expect? I don't know. I don't know what I'm saying anymore. I'm just kind of saying random stuff right now. Safety car is out. As we said, Brandon is one up. Once again, up top in that P1 position. Bradley is second place. You haven't really got anyone else around him until you get to Kieran in P7. Then you got Harry in P11, Charlie in P15, Preston and Callum in P18, P19. Can they get back up?
Yeah, obviously Preston pitting does not help him in the slightest. I think he should have just went long and just should have gone with it, because it's now costed him a load of positions and he could have still been in the top 10. And even if that means he was in P2, maybe he thinks that having those tyres on, let me check right now what he has got on, if my race director lets me work. But
you're talking about
here
Preston?
We go. Yeah.
He's on my hards.
Yeah, so Preston has opted to go to hard, so he's going long this race, and he's looking at the bigger picture right now. So obviously, Preston, all eyes on him later on during the race.
Hold up, what's happened to Kieran? He's down to P19.
He's pitted.
Ah, okay, so Kieran goes on the mediums, Callum and Preston on the hards. So that's going to be an interesting one when Kieran comes up to that battle, if he does. But I'm excited for when this safety car goes in, I really am. We're all kind of separated right now on the grid, aren't we?
Yeah, I mean, it's quite spread out. Only Bradley and Bradley and Brandon, the two Bs, are up in the top two, P1 and 2 right now, which is really good, because the last time Bradley was in this position was back in Bahrain on his debut.
Would you mind continue commentating for a second? I have a situation to deal with.
There you go. So now, as the lights have gone green, it is lights out for Brandon to start this race once again and could potentially get his first win. But, he's just slowing everyone down. and just obviously doing his thing and Brandon, I think, for a second there, he looked like he lost a bit of his rear end and just stepped out a bit. But Brandon now starts this race. I don't know what happened to Bradley there. He's in the pits right now. He has just got front wing change. I do not know. Either way, Brandon leading this race now. Fernando Alonso moves up into P2. Yuki Tsunoda, they go wheel to wheel. They're both on the hards. Fernando's up in front of them now. Fernando still has that 5-second time penalty. Harry is the next person, actual driver in the top 10 along with Brandon. But as Harry tries to go around the outside of his teammate Carlos Sainz, he makes that work. He'll try and make another one work, a double overtake in just one corner. Here we go. Now Harry will go down the inside of Sebastian Vettel, now up into P6 in this race. Now set eyes onto P5 and maybe start to hunt down that podium position. Obviously, Preston making moves up into P13 as the Alfa Romeo slightly covers off. Preston tried to look down to go down the inside there, but just didn't make it work there. As now he makes a little bit of contact, with his Gasly's rear end, as his teammate Schumacher is sort of getting in his way from trying to get past, and who is clearly the faster Haas right now. But here we go. Mick Schumacher is about to pass Pierre Gasly on track, and he does make it work. Will the other Haas pass Gasly? But Gasly's coming back here, go wheel to wheel. Who's it going to come out in front into turn one? Mick Schumacher goes up into turn one, out in front. Preston now goes down the inside of his teammate. Now will come out. They go. The two Haas now go wheel to wheel. But Preston still sat in that P11 slot. Jamie obviously having to retire, but Kieran moving up into P12 right now, right behind the Haas of Mick Schumacher right now. So Kieran hoping to look to get past and maybe fight with Preston there for a second. Charlie now up into P7, the championship leader, is looking to hunt down and maybe minimise the points that he could lose today. But obviously his next championship contender is behind him in P10. Harry up into P5. DRS has been enabled this lap. Right now, Brandon is walking away with his leads.
Right. I'm back. I'm very sorry about that. I do come with some information. Luckily, I'm not telling you that a driver is not leaving today. That was near what was going to happen. But Jamie is thinking about leaving. Due to everyone just getting annoyed with each other, and it just, it becoming a bit of a, everyone just getting a bit annoyed with the races. You understand it. Everyone's competing. It is what it is. But who knows? We'll keep you guys updated on what the situation is with that. Whether Jamie is leaving, whether Jamie is staying. But he will be missed if he does leave. So we hope that he stays. But who knows? But we'll just run me through what's happened here, Peter. Give me a quick rundown.
Not much. Harry and Preston, I've missed this. But Charlie up into P5, Harry up into P6, Preston up into P10 right now. Callum is following behind up into P12. So those drivers have made some improvements, even pitting. But Brandon is walking away with this lead.
Callum is going for an overtake on Mick Schumacher, and he gets past it very nicely on the inside of Schumacher, if I'm correct. And a nice overtake done right there for Callum, I must say.
Yeah, Callum clearly looking to get points this race. As we all know, he can, but he has quite good pace as he is on those hards though. So Preston as well, he is a little bit behind. He is basically just a little bit under 2 seconds behind Carlos Sainz, looking to get that P9, as he probably will get there eventually. But Charlie now up into P4 in this race. So Charlie is really starting to pick up the pace here and trying to catch up to his teammate, Fernando Alonso.
Yes, he truly is, and whether Charlie can do that or not will be an interesting one to see. Can we just appreciate Brandon a 13 second gap?
Yeah,
Wow.
Brandon is really showing up our drivers today with the pace he's got. He's almost basically a pit stop clear of the drivers behind.
He really is, and if he does this every single race, he's taking the championship. I'm sorry to say, but
I don't think that's entirely true. I mean, if Charlie can keep getting, if Charlie can keep consistently getting podiums, maybe P2s every race, you know, then I reckon that it will be close. But you know, we still have like several races left. We have more than 10 plus races left of this
13
season.
races left.
So there you go. 13 races left of the season. But obviously, Brandon might not be able to keep this consistency up, you know. Like I said, we have to take into account that safety cars, he could spin, he could get damaged, he could get hit, you know. That's something we all just need to take into account as well. So anything can stop Brandon from winning a race.
Yeah, that's very true, and who knows what is going to happen. It'll be very exciting to see what the future races brings, that is for sure. But we're going to look down a bit right now. Preston in that P9 position, Callum still in that P11 position, Bradley up to P14, potentially about to go for an overtake on Mick Schumacher. Again, really close in fact.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh no! Kieran's overtaking Bradley! He might be going for him! No, Kieran spun!
Oh! And now Kieran is in the wall and has kicked the bucket right now and is in the mud right now as he makes yet again another mistake. Kieran will retire from this race. Will this cause and yet another safety car? He will know. We'll find out just in just a second as Kieran pulls over to the side of the track. It doesn't seem to be causing a safety car just yet. So it might be that there is no safety car and that it is, yeah. Charlie's hopes up when they be getting a...
Oh, Sebastian Vettel's gone straight into Preston! Oh no! AI chaos right here! What is going on?
Yeah, I don't know, the AI seem to be a bit ruthless on our races and our league, so, you know, maybe the AIs have got something against our drivers.
But now Preston comes back and gets back that P7 position. Callum getting the overtake on Carlos Sainz, maybe going for the George Russell right now. Can he get past George Russell? Can he get past the Sebastian Vettel here? Who knows? It's about to be real interesting. We're about to find out. Who knows what's going to happen here?
Exactly. I mean, you've got Harry and Charlie fighting away for this podium positions. So once Charlie passes Sonoda on this main straight, Harry and Charlie can maybe have a nice little fight. This might be the fight of and maybe the highlights of this race. Maybe so far. Maybe the only people who can give us a bit of entertainment right now. But Harry is gaining on Charlie, despite Charlie having that DRS open as well. But Harry just backed off and just stays behind Charlie. But obviously, Charlie is on the hards, whereas Harry is on the medium. So Harry will be quicker on a straight line than Charlie will be.
Oh, if you check the chat right now, go down to the bottom message. Kieran is not happy with Bradley whatsoever. We will definitely have to investigate that. I did see it, and it looked quite a dangerous move by Bradley, so I will have to check that. And of course, we do know Bradley is on
a
penalty point. So it's about to get real interesting whether Bradley does get a penalty for this race.
Yeah, well, I mean, we'll definitely have to see footage from both sides of this scenario. You know, I haven't seen what's gone on. I haven't seen what's gone on, and you know, yeah, we'll just have to wait and see what happens at the end of the race. Obviously, you guys won't know about it until the very next race. So, yeah.
Yes, and we shall let you know. Don't you worry.
Sorry. Harry's about to try and make an overtake on Yuki Tsunoda as Yuki Tsunoda opens up DRS on Charlie as well. Yuki Tsunoda's gaining as Yuki Tsunoda tries to go down the inside of Charlie. He almost makes it work there for a second, but Harry now invites himself. Harry now goes wheel to wheel with Yuki Tsunoda, goes off track and now up into P3. It's 2-3 for Charlie and Harry right now, but Harry is quicker right now out of these two. If you just keep speaking there for a Dan, I can find out Charlie's and Harry's lap times right now.
No worries, no worries. We're going to actually dip down to Preston here, who is currently in P6. You've got Callum in P8. We're going to go down a bit further to Bradley, who's in P14. Unfortunately, Kieran and Jamie have retired from the session, but hopefully we'll come back next race. Who knows? But George is pulling away with a basically 24-second gap now. It is 24 seconds right now. What is happening here?
You mean Brandon, not George?
Oh my God! I'm so used to saying George. Brandon, what is going on?
Yeah, Brandon is massively. He could potentially lap the grid. He could probably potentially lap Tsunoda. But I have got some interesting data between... So Charlie is only a 10th quicker than Harry.
Wow. So it's really close between the both of them. A fight for P2. Of course, both of them in the championship battle right now.
Yeah, but as Harry right now will have DRS. Sorry to cut you off there for a second, Dan. But Harry, once again, does have DRS on Charlie. He doesn't apparently. Not this lap anyways. But he did try to look to make an overtake there. But he is so close to Charlie right now, following through this section. You have to be nice and easy on the throttle here to maintain. Dan, if you just keep speaking for a second, I will be back.
No worries at all. But what a great race it has been so far. I mean, I don't think anyone's catching up to Brandon at this rate. Unless he spins out or a safety car, I think, Brandon, pit, and we'll see what happens, who knows. But Charlie and Harry are battling away for that position, as we said. Preston is currently catching up to the AI of Fernando Alonso. Callum is also catching up as well, and he's got the overtake on Daniel Ricciardo. Nice overtake by Callum. I kind of clicked off of it accidentally, but yes, Callum is up to that P7 roll now, and Preston and Callum have climbed the ranks in this race. Wow, what a time for both of them. And Preston now up to P5 due to Fernando Alonso pitting. Callum up to P6 as well. We are nearing the fight between Charlie and Preston once again. We know that's epic all the time, so it's going to be a brilliant battle nonetheless. But now we're going to dip down to Bradley, who has that 1.4 second gap between him and Valtteri Bottas. Can he climb? Can he close that gap so he can overtake the Alfa Romeo? Who knows? I don't think right now, with the Alfa Romeos out of the points, George won't be getting any points. But whether that changes in the next 15 laps or not, who knows? Bradley accidentally goes a bit wide, however. So it's going to be interesting to see, that's for sure. But we're going to head back up now because Charlie, although not too close, he is gaining on Harry. He's trying his best to anyway. 0.7 second gap now. Who knows? Oh, Harry spun, which means Charlie takes that P2 position. Now, Yuki Tsunoda and Preston overtakes him. I'm sure Callum might be overtaking him in a second as well. And I know he doesn't. Harry manages to come back on track, but Preston is now P4. Charlie P2. What an amazing race this is. An excitement level. None, not seen before. Now Charlie goes into the pits. Wonder what tyre he'll go on to. But as we can see, that means that Preston will go to that P2 position. Harry will take back that P3 position due to Yuki pitting as well. Callum goes that P4 position. What tyres are Charlie going on to? Mediums again, I think. Oh, no, he wasn't on medias before. I can't remember what he's on. But he goes on to those medias. Bradley climbs back up due to many pits up to the P5 position. All drivers back up top now, but no Alfa Romeos in the points yet. That is not looking good for George whatsoever here. But who knows? No one is close to each other, unfortunately, right now. So we're not seeing any overtakes whatsoever. I haven't done commentating for this long in a long time, but it does feel good to do it once again. Brandon again, a 32-second gap. What the hell is going on? New guy to our league, and he's dominating it already. Going to get those 25 points and climb up quite a bit of positions. I believe up to at least, if we look at it, who's up there? Callum. So I reckon about 6. No, that's wrong. I'll have to work that out in a minute. Don't you worry, guys. But I will. But who knows? He will jump up a bit. That's what I'm trying to say. But yes, what a crazy time, mate. Harry spinning out, a very unfortunate time. I hit Peter back now, so I'm going to let him take it back over.
So Harry having a major spin there. I did see that on my screen, and Harry suffering a major spin, but it still holds and maintains that P3 slot. What happened to Charlie?
Charlie is now in a battle with Sergio Perez, making it past him with the DRS going on. And nicely, I know Charlie pitted. That's what happened. And now he gets past the Red Bull of Sergio Perez here. Nicely done. He is going on me attack after the Alpha Atari of Yuki Tsunoda, the only team without a driver from the DFL League. A shame, but hopefully for that in one day. Who knows? But here we go now. Can Charlie make it past? It's going to be interesting. I'll let Peter take it over again.
So, yeah, so obviously it's quite important that Charlie tries and gets as many points as he can during this race, because he doesn't want to drop points to Preston, who is obviously gaining on him in the championship. Yeah, I mean, it's quite important that Charlie gets up as high as he can. You know, he does have the pace, and he has been very quick throughout the season. So I have no doubt in him if he can that he can get up. But it'll be the question of, can he get a podium this race?
Yeah, I to be honest, I think he can. You know, I'm not going to say he can't. It's definitely going to be interesting, but who knows? I mean, right now you have Preston in that P2 position. I didn't even see Preston get that P2, to be honest. No, I did actually, shipping me. I don't think he can catch up to Brandon nowadays, but who knows? I mean, we've seen stranger things happen.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, as yellow sector 1, I do not know why. Either way, we'll find out very soon if it is anything major. It is an Alfa Romeo right now. It is one of the Alfa Romeos.
It's Valtteri Bottas.
Yeah, so Valtteri Bottas out of this race, as it's not good for Alfa Romeo's fight for the constructors as well. I do not know if Valtteri's car is in a place of danger. It might just be that he's off tracking, very, very far off track, and just won't cause a safety car. But as Sergio Perez seems to have gone over the curb and very slow through that right-hander.
Yeah, I mean,
Hello.
sorry,
Hello.
I was watching some evidence sent in by Jamie. We'll have to review that later, of course, to see what happens. But yes, Sergio Perez has unfortunately DNF.
Never mind. Brandon has a 3-second time penalty, but that doesn't matter to him. He can get a 20-second time penalty and still win the race.
He truly, truly can. But unfortunately, no matter what happens, obviously showing that, you know, I'm not sure what happened, whether it's cutting corners or I think it's due to track limits. I'm not too sure. But very unlucky for Brandon, to be fair.
Yeah, I mean, Mexico is a very brutal place for, if you go even the slightest over the curbs, you will get you will just get warnings after warnings, and you know, eventually you will get a penalty for extending track limits. I'm assuming that is what he got it for. It says he was cutting corners, so I'm assuming it's only because he was extending the track limits. Obviously, that's a bit of a problem around this track because, you know, especially through the sector 2, the wiggly part of that track. You know, it can be quite hard to keep the car on like the track, and especially when you're going from like left to right constantly in a matter of seconds, it can be quite disorientating for the drivers, and try and keep it, you know, on track and not going off wide.
Yeah, I mean, completely, to be honest. And who knows whether Brandon can fix those track limits errors he has, or whether, he'll keep getting much warnings or not. It'd be interesting to see. But can we just appreciate Preston right now? Normally, when you haven't got someone in front of you for ages, you'd think you'd be in P1, and it'd just be the cars you're about to lap. But it's not. You've got someone in front of you who is in P1. How does Preston react to this? Does he just continue racing and hold out for that P2? Does he try and go for Brandon? I mean, what's Brandon on? He hasn't pitted yet, has he? Whilst Preston is on the hards.
Yeah, I don't actually think no. So Brandon doesn't actually need to pit. He's already gone from softs to mediums. So and we've had multiple safety cars, so his tyres should be good. And if he has been pushing, then it wouldn't really cost him, because even if he was to pit, it wouldn't make the slightest difference. It would just cut his lead in half and still be a pit stop clear of Preston and the rest of the grid. Obviously, Brandon, if talking about Brandon, if he wins today, he will be our 5th winner of the season. Obviously, having George, Charlie, Preston, and Jamie all taking wins for themselves this season. But Brandon can be the 5th winner of this season. Dan, I don't know if you keep track of how many different winners you have in a season, but have you had this amount of different winners during a season?
I don't think so, to be honest, because think about it. Season 1, we had 5 drivers, and Ritvic did get a win, but that was in Japan. Season 2 matters in AI, I believe, so that doesn't count. Season 1, we only had 4 drivers win. Season 2, we only had 4 drivers win again, I believe. And season 3, I think this is the most we've ever had, to be honest, if Brandon takes a win, which is looking very likely.
Yeah, I mean, if Brandon doesn't have any issues with the car, and if he can doesn't have any safety cars, if nothing happens from now until the end of this race, Brandon can, he can clearly take this win. And Brandon has really shown that he is very dominant in just one race. And if he can do this in just one race, what can he achieve in the overall in the rest of this half? What we have is half of a season now left.
And if what he can prove in that, if he does well, what can he do if we even make it to season 4? Oh, that's just gonna be impressive.
Oh, I'm talking about Brandon. He almost makes a slight mistake there, almost losing his car, but amazing car control. But that's tyre wear speaking for you, and he's got another penalty, but that doesn't affect him though. But what will affect him is he almost lost it and almost binned it into the wall. And like I said, we don't take into account. You can have a 34-second gap lead but if you can't handle the pressure and you can't keep your car on the road and you can't have good car control, then you almost end up in the wall like Brandon almost did. But Brandon, with that amazing car control and just amazing stuff from him, and obviously just keeps it on track.
Yeah, and it'll be interesting to see what he can do for us this season, and what he can do if we make it season 4. We should say if we make it, because right now with this race, the group has just fell apart. To be honest, everyone, crashes. Everyone, of course, when someone causes a crash, everyone gets mad at it, and it's just falling apart. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens, but that's how chaotic this league is. So if you want to join, be prepared for it to be quite chaotic. That's all I'm going to say, to be honest.
These league races can bring up can bring a lot of action to the league, and can be very dramatic at times, like we have seen in previous qualifying races, last lap battles, you name it all. But Callum now with a 3-second time penalty, and like I said, this section this is where you're most likely to get your penalties from, and it can be very disorientating for drivers to be able to just try to keep it on the track.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be interesting to be honest. But who knows what's going to happen? But can we just say what you have Brandon 13 second gap from Preston. You have Callum advancing onto Callum. Charlie in that P4 position. That's going to be something for Preston, to be honest, within the championship, of course. Preston really needs this sort of gap on Charlie. I mean, he needs Charlie out for points, of course, but you get what I mean. Wow,
Oh,
fast
and
slap by
Harry.
Harry.
Yeah, that's really good stuff. Taking that point away from Brandon, but I have no doubt that Brandon can get that point back though, because he has been very quick. So maybe it might be that Harry might hold his fastest lap until the end of the race. Now we've only got 6 laps left. That is the case, but Preston now been given a penalty, so I don't think it's that bad for him. But basically Preston's penalty will cancel out Callum's penalty, because they both have 3-second time penalties. And like I said, it's through this sector 2 is where you're going to most likely to find. But Brandon, there you go, with a 1:17.7 with the fastest lap. And Brandon just putting in qualifying laps at this rate, really. So, and there that is. Brandon is probably going to be a very big target to maybe the one to beat in the upcoming races. But you know how it is. But yeah.
Yeah, to be fair, if Brandon can pull this gap right now, then I'm excited to see how we can do with him the rest of the season, to be honest. And it's going to be interesting. But Harry currently up in that P5 position. Bradley in P7 now. Quite the comeback. Bradley seems to be about to overtake the avatar of Yuki Tsunoda, but Yuki Tsunoda goes one way. Bradley comes back and goes the other way, and goes on the outside and gets the position on Yuki Tsunoda. What a great overtake. Up to P6 for Bradley now. Can he get after Harry?
Yeah, I mean, there is still only like 5 laps left of the race. So, he could potentially get past Harry. He has had the pace and he has been quite good throughout the season. So, it might be that he can get past, but, we'll have to wait and see. The gap is only 1.9 now to Harry. So, let's see what he can just do for the remainder of these last 5 laps of the race.
Yeah, and who knows, but unfortunately, there's no overtakes happening. That's where our main point of commentary comes from, so we're kind of dead on the water for a bit now. But Callum potentially getting a podium here. I mean, what are the penalties currently? Do we know? I think, Brandon with the 8-second, Preston with the 3-second, Callum with the 3 seconds. It won't affect any of them. So I suspect the podium, unless someone spins out, it will be your top 3 currently.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, Charlie still has to pull a 4-second gap in just basically 4 laps, so he needs to pull a second a lap over Callum, and this is for Callum's first podium of the season as well. So whether Callum can maintain this P3 or not is an entirely different question as well. Charlie just seems to be stuck in this P4. Sorry, I keep doing that for other thing, my bad. But it just seems to be that Charlie seems to be stuck in this little race on his own and just really putting in laps to make sure he can try and secure a podium. But if it stays like this, Preston will gain points. Not many points, I don't think, but he will gain points on Charlie this race.
Yeah, what we saying to Charlie with the points, yeah. I mean, with Charlie, I think Charlie does need those points, but whether Preston, in P2, will get more points, I think the championship is going to get even more closer by the race. I'm hoping, it probably won't be, but I'm hoping Kamabu, it's like whoever gets the most points wins. You get what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, like you said, you'd love to see. I'm pretty sure you said you'd love to see maybe like a 5-way fight, but I just said in reality, if George keeps making mistakes throughout the race, the championship, he'll have to start considering the championship might be out of question for him. then you go down to our next man, who is so it goes Charlie, obviously leading the championship. Preston, who is currently gaining on Charlie. Then it goes Harry, then Jamie, then George. Obviously, Jamie and I don't think George is gaining any points as the Alfa Romeo is not even in the top 10. The next Alfa Romeo is still in the race is Guan Yu Zhou down in P16. So George will not be gaining any points this race. Jamie is not scoring points any during this race. Harry definitely will be scoring points this race, but so Harry will clearly go above 100 points now and might be on, I think it's 107 points he'll be on. But Preston will gain just a little bit more. I'll just quickly calculate the gap for you real quick. But yeah, I mean, it is very close between these guys, and it's only a 32 point gap between Preston and Charlie in the championship, and obviously Preston will gain even more points, so that will take it down into the mid-20s.
It's getting really close. We will say that, and the points, I think in the next few races it will get really close. And we'll see what happens, to be honest. But we're just going to take it outside of the DFL League 1 second. We're just going to talk about real F1. George Russell getting his first win of the season. That's just great. I mean,
that's why I kind of went off mic, because I wanted to hear his radio call. Wasn't as good as what I thought it was going to be. But yeah, happy for the Merc team, obviously, getting that amazing 1-2 victory. Been dreaming of that since day one. I'm hoping that Merc can continue their dominance over since 2021. Obviously, that was not the fault in my case. Obviously, Mercedes have made big improvements over the season, and it's about time that they've won a race. And, you know, I'm so glad that George Russell has got a victory now. Obviously, being robbed of the victory in 2020 in the Sakir Grand Prix, I believe it was. But obviously was leading the race, and yeah, was really good when he stepped in for Lewis Hamilton when Hamilton had COVID. So, you know, it is what it is, but Russell finally getting his first win.
Of course, and that's what we like to see, you know, George Russell, an exciting prospect within the actual F1, getting his first win. We love to see it, don't we? But focusing back on DFL, it's our final lap of the race. Brandon has a 35-second gap. I don't think there's any question on it. But can we just go down a second? Preston, 3-second time penalty. Callum, within 1.3 seconds right now. He will claim that P2. That's his high finish this season.
Yeah, but it's only an 8/10 gap between Preston and Charlie. Not Preston and Charlie, I mean Callum and Charlie. So whether Charlie can gain a 7/10 gap in this final corner is a question that will be answered in just a second, and it will not happen. And Charlie, oh wait, what's going on here? Has he been lapped or what? But what do
you mean?
It's not the final. Oh, yeah, sorry.
It was the final lap because Brandon crossed it 35 seconds ago.
Oh, I was a bit confused. It's me being dumb, unfortunately. But Charlie does have to pull a 6/10 gap over Callum right now, and it is looking doable. It is looking possible for Charlie. It looks like he could potentially get a podium in this race. I would love to see Callum on the podium for the first time, but Brandon given another penalty. And now, Dan, do you want to do your winner?
Is that happening right now? I didn't even see it. Stupid me, I didn't even realise. But here we go with Brandon taking his first win of the league. Won his debut. Well done to Brandon. What an amazing win. Coming in and not only taking pole, but I believe, no, he didn't take fastest lap, did he? Harry did.
No, Brandon did take fastest lap.
Okay, so he gets a full 27 points. Well done to Brandon here. Absolutely nice win. And of course, with a 3-second time penalty, 6 seconds, Callum will drop down. Charlie takes that P3 position. And does Preston drop down as well? I don't think he does.
No, Preston stays in P2. So Charlie, with that 6 second penalty that he had in total at the end has really cost him a podium, and it could have been his first podium of the season. But you know, etching so closer to another podium.
Charlie gets driver of the day, nice one. And here we go with the podium, of course, Brandon walking out for the first time of the season on his debut. Great race by him today. I mean, what a brilliant race. Pulling that amazing gap. Of course, you have President Matt P2 position, Charlie Matt P3 position. That is going to be massive for the championship. Of course, it's only like 3 different points, but all the points matter within this championship, people, and there's a lot more races to go for Preston to catch up, I will say that. But a great race by everyone today. Unfortunate for Kieran, and who else? Jamie, I believe, retired, and we're about to go to the leaderboard if it lets us, people. And here we go with the leaderboard. You have Brandon in P1, you have President P2, Charlie in P3, and Callum drops down to P4, swapping with Charlie due to a 6-second time penalty. Harry in P5, Bradley in P6, and unfortunately Jamie and Kieran did DNF. But what a brilliant race it was, what a brilliant Grand Prix it was, and we'll see you next time, people. I can't remember what Grand Prix it is next, but we'll find out. See you next Sunday, people.